The New Year's Eve party buzzed with laughter and music as I mingled in the crowded room. The host, known for throwing the most extravagant events, had outdone themselves this time. The mansion, adorned with twinkling lights and draped in luxurious fabrics, felt like something out of a fairy tale. As the clock neared midnight, the anticipation in the air was obvious. A hush fell over the crowd as the host stepped forward, raising a crystal glass to make a toast. "To new beginnings!" they exclaimed, and the room erupted in cheers. The countdown began, and the excitement reached a fever pitch. As the clock struck midnight, confetti rained down, and the guests clinked their glasses in celebration. Amidst the revelry, I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned to find a mysterious stranger, their eyes concealed by the shadow of a wide-brimmed hat. They handed me an intricately designed mask, whispering, "Put this on, and follow me. There's something you need to see." Intrigued, I donned the mask, its velvet surface cool against my skin. The stranger led me to a room, away from the lively party. The music faded, replaced by the distant hum of an unfamiliar melody. The narrow corridor opened into a dimly lit chamber adorned with antique mirrors and flickering candles. As the stranger closed the door behind us, the atmosphere shifted. The room seemed to pulsate with an energy that gave me chills. The mirrors reflected not just my masked visage, but also an array of distorted images, as if each mirror showed a different reality. The stranger spoke in a low, mysterious voice. "These mirrors reveal the paths you could have taken, the choices that diverged from your reality. Look closely, and you may see glimpses of what might have been." I approached the nearest mirror, and as I gazed into the glass, my reflection wavered. Scenes unfolded before me. Alternate versions of my life played out in a surreal dance of possibilities. In one reflection, I saw myself in a different career, pursuing a passion I had abandoned long ago. In another, I witnessed the consequences of a decision that I never had the courage to make. The mirrors held stories of untaken chances, unexplored paths, and the haunting specter of what-ifs. I became engrossed in the mesmerizing display, each reflection a reminder of the complexity of life's choices. Suddenly, the room darkened, and the mirrors took on an ethereal glow. The stranger's voice echoed, "Now you must make a choice. Will you embrace the path you've walked, or venture into the unknown? The mirrors hold the power to guide you toward a new beginning." As I pondered the profound question, the mirrors began to merge into a singular, luminous surface. The distorted images coalesced into a brilliant tableau, a mosaic of the myriad possibilities that lay before me. It was a breathtaking, overwhelming sight that left me both awestruck and humbled by the vastness of the untapped futures. With a sense of clarity, I removed the mask and faced the stranger. "I choose to embrace my journey, to honor the choices that brought me to this moment. The past, with all its twists and turns, has shaped who I am." The stranger nodded approvingly, and as they opened the door, the vibrant sounds of the New Year's celebration flooded back into the room. I rejoined the party, the echoes of the mysterious chamber lingering in my thoughts. As the final notes filled the air, I reflected on the profound experience. The mirrors had offered a glimpse into the tapestry of my existence, of potential futures. Yet, in the end, I chose to savor the beauty of the present, grateful for the journey that had brought me to that moment of clarity on a New Year's Eve filled with magic and revelation. The air in Grandma's house was thick with nostalgia and the subtle scent of lavender as I stepped through the creaking front door. The memories of lazy summer afternoons spent in the garden flooded my mind, but tonight, on New Year's Day, the atmosphere had changed. The rooms felt colder, shadows seemed to linger longer, and an unspoken tension hung in the air. I made my way to the heart of the house, the living room, where an antique grandfather clock stood tall in the corner. Its dark mahogany frame bore the marks of time, and the pendulum swung with a rhythmic precision that echoed through the quiet house. As the clock's hands approached midnight, an uneasy feeling settled in the pit of my stomach. The room was dimly lit, adorned only by the soft glow of a few flickering candles. The fireplace crackled, casting dancing shadows on the walls. I could almost hear the whispers of memories past, a gentle murmur that harmonized with the ticking of the clock. It was a comforting sound, a symphony of the familiar, until a different voice, soft and distant, joined the melody. I strained my ears to catch the elusive whispers. At first, they were mere fragments, like echoes carried on the wind. As the clock continued its countdown to midnight, the voices grew clearer, forming words that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if the very walls of the house were sharing secrets I was not meant to hear. Curiosity consumed me, and I approached the ancient timepiece. The whispers now formed a sinister chant, counting down from 10, a malevolent force woven into the fabric of the room. My breath caught in my throat as the voices reached a peak, echoing through the corridors of the house. The final seconds ticked away, and with a deafening silence, the clock struck midnight. In that moment, the air grew colder, and an otherworldly presence enveloped the room. The whispers, now a haunting symphony, seemed to echo from the very depths of the clock. I felt a chill run down my spine as an unseen force tugged at the edges of my sanity. The room darkened, and a flicker of movement caught my eye, shadows dancing in the corners, taking on grotesque shapes that flickered in and out of existence. The whispers coalesced into a single voice, cold and dripping with malevolence. "You should not have come here." It hissed, the words sending a jolt through my entire being. I tried to move, but an invisible force held me in place. Panic gripped me as the room seemed to warp and twist, reality bending under the weight of the spectral presence. Desperation clawed at my chest as I pleaded for release, but the voice only chuckled, a sound that reverberated through the very fabric of my soul. "You have unlocked the gateway," it whispered, and with that proclamation, the room plunged into darkness. Time lost its meaning as I stood in the void, the only constant the distant ticking of the clock. A cold wind brushed against my skin, carrying with it the echoes of lost souls. Faces appeared and disappeared in the shadows, contorted in silent screams of agony. The voices, now a cacophony of despair, filled the emptiness around me. Just as I thought I would be consumed by the void, the first light of dawn broke through the darkness. The clock struck once more, and with a sudden jolt, I found myself standing in the now sunlit living room. The whispers had faded, as the atmosphere lifted. I stumbled back, gasping for breath, trying to comprehend the surreal experience. The antique clock stood silent, its pendulum motionless. The house, once a repository of warm memories, now felt like a haunted relic. As I left, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had glimpsed something beyond the veil, something that should have remained hidden in the shadows of time. The New Year's sun had barely begun its ascent when I received a mysterious invitation to an exclusive event at the outskirts of town. The address led me to an abandoned carnival, a place long forgotten by the laughter of children and the bright lights of joy. Intrigued and fueled by a sense of adventure, I found myself standing before the rusted gates of a place frozen in time. The eerie silence of the carnival was only broken by the distant creaking of a weather-beaten Ferris wheel. As I stepped cautiously onto the faded fairground, a chill ran down my spine. The air seemed to hum with the echoes of forgotten laughter and the distant melody of a calliope that no longer played. I ventured deeper into the desolate carnival, my footsteps echoing through the emptiness. The stalls, once vibrant with colors and prizes, now stood as dilapidated structures, their paint peeling and their games long abandoned. It felt as though the spirits of the past lingered in the shadows, observing the intruder who dared to disturb their eternal slumber. As the clock approached midnight, a soft, haunting tune began to play. The abandoned carousel, with its skeletal horses frozen mid-gallop, slowly started to revolve. The melancholic melody filled the air, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease as the empty seats swung back and forth, each movement accompanied by an otherworldly whisper. With a hesitant heart, I continued my exploration, drawn toward the center of the carnival. The Ferris wheel, a skeletal structure against the night sky, began to turn with a spine-chilling groan. The empty seats swayed as if occupied by invisible riders, and the flickering lights cast eerie shadows that danced on the faded canvas of the surrounding tents. A voice, cold and spectral, whispered through the air. Welcome to the Carnival of Lost Souls. It sent a shiver down my spine as I realized I was not alone. The atmosphere thickened with a spectral energy, and the ghostly apparitions of children appeared, their translucent forms darting between the rides, their laughter echoing through the silent night. I quickened my pace, the echoes of my footsteps drowned by the haunting carnival melody. The whispers intensified, as if the very fabric of the air was vibrating with the energy of the lost souls. The ghostly children, their faces frozen in eternal delight, beckoned me toward the heart of the carnival. Suddenly, the carousel screeched to a halt, the music dying away, and the Ferris wheel ceased its mournful turning. The ghostly apparitions froze, their spectral eyes fixed on me. The air grew still, pregnant with an otherworldly energy that hinted at a reality beyond the veil of the living. As the clock struck midnight, the carnival erupted into a frenzied display of spectral lights and ethereal sounds. The ghostly children, now joined by shadowy figures from the past, danced around me. The air pulsated with a strange energy, and I felt an invisible force tugging at the edges of my consciousness. Desperation and fear gripped me as I tried to break free from the spectral dance. The carnival became a vortex of swirling lights and indistinct whispers, and I feared I might be consumed by the unearthly spectacle. In the midst of the chaos, I glimpsed a figure, a spectral ringmaster with piercing eyes, orchestrating the spectral revelry. As abruptly as it had begun, the spectral carnival faded away, leaving me standing alone in the deserted fairground. The ghostly whispers, the echoes of laughter, and the haunting melody lingered in the air. I stumbled back, disoriented and breathless, as the first light of dawn broke on the horizon, banishing the supernatural energies back into the shadows. As I walked away from the abandoned carnival, the memories of that haunting New Year's night lingered. The spectral dance, the ghostly children, and the enigmatic ringmaster became fragments of a surreal experience that defied the boundaries of the living world. The abandoned carnival, once a place of joy and laughter, now stood as a testament to the mysteries that can unfold when the clock strikes midnight on a New Year's Eve lost in time.